right, let's see what we got in the house. You guys can start commenting.
Politics and politicians, drunken cops on television, Holy Ghost without a vision,
All right, guys, we're going to get started in just a moment.
superstition, praying for a new behavior. I wanna have you as my savior. Just a little sunshine.
Okay. What's up, Skywatchers? What is up indeed? All right, I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I had a lot more fun video planned for this evening. You know, I was going to make it a little more interactive for us, and I just kept coming across these posts out of Canada and down by Toronto, next to Michigan there, and I'm seeing some stuff happen in the United States. I don't think I had heard about what I'm about to show you, how Saudi Arabia dropped out of a 50-year agreement with the United States over the U.S. dollar, and everyone is kicking the dollar to the curb. You know, that only means one thing for us, and this video should answer some of that. I hope you guys stick with me. Some of these news clips, they just get so long, and they're not exciting, right? But they are so informative. I can't help but bring this information out there just in case there are people who are not aware of what is about to happen, what is happening in the United States. And a lot of us have seen this with rent increases and groceries and all the different things we have to do to maintain our daily lives. Well, it's not going to get any easier. I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news here. Most of you guys should already know this stuff, I believe. And if you're just starting out and you're getting into some of this information, what do they call it? The awakening. Some people are awakening. A lot of us have been awake for a long time. And I realize that I don't think we're going to wake up the whole world. I don't even think that's a real thing. You know, this information isn't always for the masses. The masses have always been the masses, right? And so there are a select few individuals throughout the population who gravitate toward understanding society and taking probably, I guess, what I like to call more of a philosophical warrior approach to the world. And if you don't know what that is, we'll get into that probably more through, more of these live streams. I don't want to keep them the same all the time. I don't want it to be just about weather warfare or just about the Great Reset. There are a lot of things to cover going forward, like how to prepare for this physically and mentally and philosophically. And I would like to explore that some more. So if you guys are on board, that's awesome. Let me take a look at the comments, see who's in the house, and we'll get back to talking a little bit more. Oh, Mystery Roman, you're in the house and you got notified. That is awesome. If anyone can give me a mic check, I just turned up the volume on this mic thinking it was too low last time. Does it sound good? Am I coming across good? Too loud? Let me know, please. Okay, guys. Well, before I came on air, I saw some farmers in Idaho. Let me take a look here. They want to close down 6,400 wells, water wells in Idaho for the farmers. And if they don't close off these wells, they're getting fined like $300 a day per acre, I believe it is. And we've seen this strike on our chickens, on our eggs, on our just all of our dairy across the board, our beef, warehouse after warehouse, plant after plant exploding, or they're even going in and just slaughtering millions of animals. Like I like to say, what the hell are we eating? Um, just be careful out there. Double check your food and make sure it's actual, real food. Um, this ain't to scare anyone. This is just what I'm seeing. I'm sure you guys are seeing this stuff too. I mean, just across the board, it is, they're coming after all of our water. Even here down by me, I had a nice natural spring. I go fill up 5-gallon buckets every day. Water jugs, they're good, clean water jugs. That's what they're intended for. And they took down our old site, our old well house, and put up a new one with locked doors, and it's much bigger. And now I'm wondering, and I might just go request an inspection so I can see what's being done to my water. I hope nothing. It still looks the same. It tastes the same. So I'm not suggesting anything is happening, but I don't trust anyone no more. Do you? I mean, do you guys really trust anyone? Any officials? You know what I mean? I do not. We've seen what's happened, especially the last 4 years. If you have awakened to all of the conspiracies before the scamdemic, then you know what I'm talking about. But these last 4 years and going forward through, we have Agenda 21, which has been in play for some time, and Agenda 24, which we can all feel the squeeze. They even want our gas stoves. You can't burn wood. They're doing, I don't know about you, by you guys, but up here they do this stove. They'll come and change out your fireplace and put a high efficiency burner or something in there. Anyway, they're just keeping you from burning wood too. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. They want you to depend on the system. And I am going to fight that with everything I can. I am going to keep living what I like to call rugged and authentic. That's me, that's the life I chose. I don't want to be stuck in a townhouse or inside of a city paying all these ridiculous bills. Right now, really, all I have in my little cabin is electricity and internet. Those are the bills I have. Excuse me. And the internet, oh my God, that's skyrocketing high. I can barely afford to do what I'm doing here, but I can't help it. I have to do this. I'm compelled. Let's check the comments and see who's in the house. Ryan Shorey, I hear you. All right, as long as I'm not blowing anyone's doors off with this. Mystery Woman. She says, nice shirt. Thanks, Mystery Woman. It's a little cool today. Here it is, the second day of summer, and I'm in a flannel and a vest. All morning they've been making it rain here. You could hear thunder at the base of the mountain. That's where they have Poker Flats Rocket Research Facility. And Poker Flats works in conjunction with HARP, which is 4 hours south of me. And anyone in Alaska, I even had a lady from Juneau the other day. She messaged me, and she was looking at the National Weather Service up here by Fairbanks, and she's like, are they making clouds right now? And I had to laugh. I'm like, yes, they are. They do this every single day behind me. They make these clouds, and then they take their big radar unit they got down there. We're going to go down there. I'm going to take a drive down there as soon as it's nice enough, maybe even this weekend. And I'll do a short little video clip right in front of this big unit. I mean, if it don't, I don't like being that close to these things, but I'm going to go down there and I'll shoot a little video in front of it. There seems to be some people out there, and they've come to this channel often, and they say these are fantasy tools and they don't exist. And I'm here to tell you they exist. I live right on top of one. I got the NexRad, I'm kind of on a shelf on this mountain, and right above me is the NexRad. So luckily I'm just a little bit below it, but not that much. And then at the base of the mountain, of course, there's Poker Flats and their big arrays. I couldn't even tell you how many big units they have there. I could look on the plans that they share with the public. But anyway, we'll do that. But we're going to get into the video in a minute here, and it starts out. Now, I don't even want to show this video. I don't even want to show it. I don't like what I'm seeing. And I'm sure many of you have seen these. I'm going to call foreign invaders on North American soil, the United States and Canada, and all the Western nations. We've seen this, migrant boats full capsizing on their way to Greece and other places throughout the Mediterranean and the Western European nations. And there is no shortage here in America or Canada. And I'm sure most of you have heard somehow, some way that these foreign entities on American soil are driving around in their own police cars. They have their own neighborhoods. They have their own laws. And then there's talk about making them official police in America. I think New York City was one of them. Los Angeles and Chicago are among the cities where they're probably going to initialize some of these programs. And I did have some images. I didn't get them imported. It's been a rough morning. But basically, yeah, these are the new citizens, if you will, and they're getting all kinds of incentives from the government, state and local. They're using our money, and we'll touch on as we get into the death of the dollar here. You're going to find out some things about taxes you might not have known, and some of this is new to me. And as we go through these videos, I'll stop and maybe I'll talk a little bit about what I know. Which, I'm no financial expert by any means. I recognize the signs that I'm looking for, though, has this great reset, moves forward, progresses into the future. And I'm not sure how many even are aware of the great reset that's taken place. And there was a book about it by Klaus Schwabster there, COVID-19 and the Great Reset. And speaking of COVID, some of this video, I might stop. I already uploaded parts that I wanted you to see because I wasn't sure if I wanted to share some of this information on YT because it may just get me taken down. It's that sensitive. But I think I can share most of it on here. But like I said, I did upload it to Rumble, and while I'm talking about Rumble, all of my YouTube subscribers, I would love if you went over to Rumble and subscribed. Who knows how long I'm going to be on YT? I like YT. It's where I started all this. It's where I want to be. I love the interaction. I love the interface of it all. YT is a great platform, but they did side with the World Economic Forum, and they had signed an agreement to keep certain information hush. And so I am really hesitant about sharing certain information here. Rumble, I know you guys are listening, so I am giving you my thumbs up right now because you guys have been okay to me. I'm getting more views on Rumble than I am YT. So good on Rumble. YT has removed so many of my videos over the last couple years. And while they had some good information, they weren't the best videos. I was learning how to do all this. Some of you guys have been with me since I started this, and you saw how messy some of my videos probably were and how poor the editing was. I didn't know what I was doing. I have no computer background. I wasn't a video editor or a computer user, period. But like I say, some things in life, they change. And now this is what I'm doing. All right, let's get into the comments and say hi. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Hey, there's me going live in 7 minutes. All right. Ryan says, I hear you. Yeah, no trust at all. That's right, Ryan. Oh, I got to show this here. It was 110 degrees in Massachusetts. Oh my God. That had to feel pretty muggy, huh? That sounds crazy. Well, that's a great topic. I love it. I'm glad you said something like that. Um, so if you guys are familiar with Nostradamus, then what was that general back in the Civil War? He also predicted 3 world wars. Because these men are Freemasons. Just how the Simpsons predict all these events, it's because it's all planned out. And this has been planned out. I mean, if you look at Operation Paperclip back from World War II, um, all they did was bring the Nazis over here and they put them in the space agencies, NASA. I'm talking specifically about Werner von Braun. Um, and they all worked within our government. Now, some people have a real hard time hearing these things because they know nothing about this, and why would they? Um, some of you guys may remember the old Moses movie with Charlton Heston and what was the bald guy there? But anyway, I was a kid when I watched this, and they always said, "So let it be written, so let it be done." And I was always puzzled by that statement. So let it be written, so let it be done. What the hell does that mean? Well, it means just what it means. The plan has been written a long, long time ago. Um, all the wonderful stuff that you and I lived, and I hate to say this, but it was indoctrination, it was propaganda, and we based our whole identities on our American ideologies and propaganda. And I tell you, I still do to an extent. Now that I'm awake and I've sorted through the propaganda, there is still much to cling to. Um, I love being an American. Now, the government does not represent me. Hollywood does not represent me. None of these things represent my identity. My identity comes from within. And who I became, well, over the last 50 years. And I'll share that stuff with you as time goes on. But I do love being an American. I do not cheer on American war. I do not cheer on American politics. I have developed a complete new understanding of the world I live in. And that's what gives me the fortitude to come on here live and talk to you guys. If I didn't feel as strongly as I do in the base knowledge that I have and what I see, I couldn't do this. I couldn't do it honestly. That's why I don't even want to be like a salesman. I don't want to be selling you guys anything on here. I just want to come on and tell the truth as I see it. And most of you know I bring a lot of paperwork, scientific papers, news articles, testimonies. The things I say, I always try to back up. I don't come at you with any propaganda whatsoever unless I'm showing it to you in a piece to demonstrate that it's actually happening. You guys got coffee? I need a drink here. All right, let's take a look at the comments again. How could I blame the government if it was predicted? So, this is the other thing. When you get into it, you find like all presidents are bloodline, and it's not to just that one king. It does go back further. Um, but you realize there are many secret organizations in America and around the world, and a lot of them are interconnected, and they all go up to the Council for Foreign Relations. Now, when you get from the CFR and you start getting down, you get into all the different branches of power. And government is way down on that. But they are part of secret societies. And it's really not that much of a secret. Many channels do great work. One channel I kind of enjoy is Anonymous, and I kind of didn't realize this until the last month, but Anonymous and I make similar videos. Anonymous is just really great at it. And that kind of changed how I'm doing things right now, because I thought, well, if Anonymous and I are kind of doing the same content back and forth, it's really kind of bland, especially since he's going to beat me out every time. He's got such an established presence and a huge following. I just thought I'd start doing lives, and, I'll make little videos, of course, to put in my lives. But I thought it was time to get a little more personal about it. Yeah, Lee, and you probably know, Lee, that the research and the answers don't come overnight. Now I'm talking over a decade for myself since I've woken up, but I've been fortunate enough that I could spend many, many hours and days a week doing this. I did get injured. I don't work full time anymore. I wish I did, but I do consider this work now, making videos, doing lives, and hopefully it'll do some good for the household. So yeah, researching, you're never going to get the answers overnight. And I could sit there and tell somebody everything I know, and they're never going to understand until they actually start researching for themselves. And when you find one piece and it fits into another piece, I mean, I'm still researching every day, and I'm going back through mythology and ancient history and all of the books, and it just never ends. And that is only for certain people. Like I said earlier in this video, these things are not for the masses. These are for special individuals. And when I say special individuals, I kind of mean the chosen ones, really. Most of the population is on autopilot. They hear stuff, they react, they keep going. They don't ever sit down and think too deep. A lot of people don't even have the time to think deep. They don't even know that they can't think deep. Now, I don't say that lightly. I've just watched it for many years. Yeah, I did get an email from Rumble Mystery Woman. They said they are working on things constantly, and I hope they are. And it's not as easy for me to interact on. I'm talking to the computer. It's not as easy for me to interact on Rumble either. I have to go to the video, then I have to go to the comments. I can't just, click on the comment and read it and respond. So if you guys are commenting on Rumble, give me some time to get back to you. And on all these platforms, I do have hundreds of messages in the waiting. I try to go through them as fast as I can. Yeah, so please be patient. If I haven't gotten back to you, try to get to me again. It can be difficult. Yeah, Mystery Woman, I really did start having fun with it. I mean, I could hardly sleep for 10 years. My mind just kept working and working and working, and putting all these pieces in their place. while I have developed a really good view of the world, sometimes it's hard to recall specific pieces of information. Sometimes I have no problem. Uh, Sometimes, as soon as I'm done talking about it, what I wanted to remember comes right to me. These are things I need to work on. I'll blame the frequencies. Yeah, you're going to find it doesn't matter what perspective you're coming from, whether it's biblical or Nostradamus or all these things are going to come true if they haven't already. Um, and we can see that from the directions of our prospective countries, whether you're in Canada, um, the United States, Great Britain. I mean, all these things are happening. China, Russia. I mean, it is crazy. And, one of the reasons these predictions come true is because the past civilizations always had their technologies. And I mean, always. And this can be clearly demonstrated when you go through hidden history and mythology. And once you learn to read mythology, and you understand the difference between the allegories and the metaphors and the actual outright statements, um, these things become clear through time. And you can even go back to Atlantis, and Plato talked about how the black magic, started to crumble the island. And, I'm sure there was the island there, but it was a worldwide civilization. And, this is pretty well documented as well. And black magic was technology. And we can see this even going to the pyramids, right? We had that civilization, and then we had a couple more after that until we get to us. And they even tell us this is, I've seen two stories out of this, the fifth or the sixth mass extinction event. And that's because we are the fifth generation. And that's why 5G is also such a big deal. Not only are we part of that generation in technology, but it's going to be the death of us. I don't trust this stuff one bit. Yeah, Lee. Well, I'm glad you found me. Geez, that's kind of a hard thing to do, I bet. I get censored so much. I wish I could have loaded that thing where uh, last month on Facebook, 2 million impressions, and now it just went straight down because I put out a Depop video. Getting censored it burns me up. I mean, if people didn't like my show based on the show itself, that's fine. But if I'm getting buried because I'm being censored, that's a little harder to deal with. I'd rather people make up their own mind. Possibly something tonight. What are you talking about, Tommy? I don't know. Yeah, Lee. Yep. And that's kind of why I'm here. I don't know that I can actually help anyone, but if this information makes a little bit of a difference, and then you're like, well, shit, I need to prepare. What do I need to prepare for? Well, is it tornadoes? Is it fires? Is it floods? Is it economic collapse? And the answer is yes. Uh, just prepare for everything. And like I've said before, it's not about having all these physical items, because most of the time, in some kind of emergency, you're not going to have any of these items, right? You'll be lucky if you have a go bag or even a pocket knife on you. Um, Almost all the power in prepping, it's right up there. And it's just practicing instead of coming at it from like a work perspective. I like to go out on the weekends and implement some of the, like starting a fire or filtering water from the river and camping, hunting, fishing, all these types of things, right? If you can survive in the woods for 2 weeks, you can survive, period. You know what I mean? So not everybody has the ability to do this. Some people are getting older and they're just not going to. Some people may be handicapped. Then it's about being prepared in your mind for whatever you may face. And I do. I live these things in my head. I sit here, I write about them. I watch movies about it. I watch videos because it's the time that we're in. And so instead of becoming depressed and angry about all these things, you have to forge a new attitude, a new dream, a dream of survival. Like I previously stated, this philosophical warrior mindset going into this great reset. It's going to be hard. But hopefully you have people that you can talk to like this at home. Or, if you don't, find someone, make friends. I'm fortunate. I can talk to my wife about this stuff. She's very intelligent. And we have really good conversations. And we know what to expect coming in the future. And we're taking it one day at a time. But with all this information, the one thing we never lose is hope or love or any of these, the wonderful things that we have between us are not colored by the outside world. I think the outside world might even make that thing between us stronger because now we know, we have each other for a reason. And, I know not everyone is in a relationship or married, but I hope you guys are happy. And if you have someone, I hope that they share in these things with you. Oh, look at that. Tommy Hicks, good to see you, buddy. A thermonuclear space explosion could create a new star in the night sky, astronomers say. Yeah, they say that stuff all the time. You know why? Because they're doing this stuff up there, man. I don't know. Like, do you have Newsbreak app? Do you get all those alerts too? And I see this stuff all the time. I don't even know what to believe. I think most of the time they are so full of it. I remember when the scamdemic began, so many news clips were either out of movie scenes or book chapters. I mean, almost everything we saw was fake. And as we get into this video, and we should get into this video, it's already been a half an hour. I haven't even pressed play yet. You guys keep me talking, don't you? Well, so Bluebeam. Now there is a lot to Bluebeam. I've seen where Starbucks is going to start advertising in the night sky, right? We're looking at a really crazy future. Well, we're already in it, aren't we? I think Bluebeam is going to pose a problem when deciphering what is real and what is not. And I mean, social media poses a problem for that, doesn't it? But I'll be out here always putting my 2 cents in for whatever it's worth. Yeah, I don't get hung up on Bluebeam. I know what it's capable of. And I know what I'm seeing now. And a lot of people they don't believe in these orbs. And I've seen hundreds, maybe over 1,000 with my own eyeballs. And I used to take photos and video all the time on my little 3G phone. I wish I had that still, but I don't. But even if I did, it would be 420 pixel. Like, that's shitty footage of UFOs. That could be anything. But no, me and my wife, my friends, we all sat and watched these things together back in Montana. I've only seen a handful since I've been in Alaska, and those were in Anchorage. right up here on this mountain, I have not seen much but military traffic. That's about all I really get up here. Military traffic, harp, and some bears once in a while, but that's even gone south. I haven't seen any bears this year. Let's see what's happening over here. Oh, mystery woman, I'm so sorry to hear that. I've lost people this year to, fortunately, not my spouse, but it's always hard. I'm sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you have some power in your heart and in your mind. So good on you. Yeah. Well, this has also been planned a very long time. I don't know how many of you guys even watch like old TV, but you can see that over there in Ukraine, America, Hollywood and DC, they have their mafia over there, okay? And it's been over there a very long time. This whole thing is bad juju. Um, I know what they're doing out there, and I can't even say it on YouTube because I will get taken off the air. But it's a continuation of what was happening in the 30s, and we're seeing it again. And most of the world doesn't even have a clue. They don't even think this way. But I happen to have some Ukrainian friends right up here in Fairbanks. They didn't tell me anything I didn't already know, but maybe one day we'll get into that on Rumble. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and press play on this next video. Now, like I started to say a half hour ago, I didn't even want to show this but everyone needs to see it.
خائن اللهم دمر كل خائن اللهم دمر أمريكا اللهم مقاومتنا يا الله اللهم انصر مقاومتنا يا الله اللهم انصر مقاومتنا يا كلب الإسرائيلي اللهم دمر كل خائن اللهم دمر كل خائن اللهم دمر كل خائن اللهم دمر أمريكا الله.
All right, so I didn't have a date on that, but I saw it was out of Toronto, Canada, right next to Michigan there. This is what we're going to have to look forward to for these years to come. And we know what they're going to do. They want a caliphate, right? And they've already surrounded the world. They're all here. You don't have to believe me. I know a lot of people don't want to believe this kind of thing is true, but you're about to watch it happen, okay? They didn't make that movie The Purge for nothing. These things, they always tell us in some fashion or another, but I did see something out of Canada, and it really made my heart warm, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
The stock market would collapse. The bond market would collapse. Banking system would collapse. The insurance company.
Yeah, I just thought that was beautiful to see all the people gathered together, brotherly, sisterly love, just in its purest form. That was beautiful. And I hope all of us in America can get there. I really don't see that happening with the upcoming election. And there's just so much division and chaos in America right now. I'm not sure how that's ever going to happen. It may happen in small groups. I mean, I'd really love to get together with some Skywatchers here in Alaska and just have a good old fashioned barbecue, play the guitar and sing. And, I don't think that's going to happen this year. Nobody seems to really want to do things like that anymore. But if you are interested, you can email me at alaskaskywatcher@gmail.com. And hopefully I will see that email and get back to you. Maybe have a picnic sometime at the end of the summer before the hunting season starts, and maybe put that on YouTube and Rumble. But it would be great to see more people get together. Let me take a look at the comments and then we'll get on with this video. Nothing. All right, so let's what we're going to look at here is the collapse of the dollar. And they're going to say a couple things in here. And I really want you guys to pay attention to Treasury bonds. It's going to be really important to understand both sides of these clips.
Would collapse everything. This is the Great Reset.
Well, Corey, thank you for joining us. In a major shift, Saudi Arabia has let the petrodollar agreement expire, opting to sell oil in multiple currencies instead of exclusively using the US dollar. The agreement of the past 50 years expired on June 9th. Now, the so-called petrodollar deal reportedly stipulated that Saudi Arabia would price its oil exports exclusively in US dollars and invest its surplus oil revenues in US Treasury bonds. In exchange, the US
Treasury
would provide military support and protection to the kingdom. This helped the US dollar cement its position as the world's reserve currency and ushered in an era of American prosperity. So Saudi Arabia, now looking to move beyond an exclusive relationship with the US, marks a significant change in global economic dynamics and could have far-reaching implications for the US dollar's dominance. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's central bank has also joined a trial for a China-led central bank digital currency cross-border payment system known as Project Enbridge. And this could be another step towards less of the world's oil being traded in US dollars. And this all happens as the de-dollarization trend continues, with BRICS Plus ministers of foreign affairs recently meeting in Russia. Members reiterated calls to ditch the dollar and use their own currencies in trade and financial transactions. And it's arguably the weaponization of the dollar after Russia's invasion of Ukraine that has accelerated the trend to de-dollarize. And as the BRICS members were meeting in Russia, in Italy, leaders of the G7 were also meeting, and they agreed to issue $50 billion in loans for Ukraine that are backed by the profits of frozen Russian sovereign assets. Now, ahead of the summit, the United States decided to expand sanctions on Russia and China. These new measures target Chinese companies that support Russia's efforts in Ukraine and aim to deter foreign financial institutions from dealing with sanctioned Russian entities. Now, this caused an immediate suspension of trading in dollars and euros on Russia's leading financial marketplace, the Moscow Exchange. And Russia has also now officially adopted the Chinese yuan as its primary foreign currency. And this all comes as China has been dumping its dollar assets. Beijing sold a record $53.3 billion worth of US treasuries and agency bonds in the first quarter and has been piling into gold. The precious metal now makes up almost 5% of Chinese reserves, the highest since at least 2015. Now, not only are central banks buying gold at record levels, but they're also reducing their share of US dollar reserves. According to the IMF, dollar reserves held by central banks fell to 58.4% during the fourth quarter of 2023. That is the lowest level in 25 years.
Yeah, I had to put this comment up. So I don't think it's going to look like a nuclear disaster. I mean, there may be some strikes, but what I think we're going to have to deal with isn't so much. We've been watching our country get hammered, right? Our own government has been shutting us down, all these factories and train derailments, and none of that is done by outside sources. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't found anything that would lead me to think that. What I have seen and what I know is Agenda 21, 24, 2030, and 2050. And the plan is to shut all of this down. We are going to be left to our own devices. We're going to have all these invaders here, and it's going to be what I think is a major civil war, but it's going to look different. It might not be, us regular Americans against regular Americans. It might come to something else, with the lowest estimate I heard for the new people that have arrived in this country is 30 million. Okay, 30 million. And I've heard higher. I'm going to use the lower number for right now because that's overwhelming. It's more than enough to overwhelm everything. And they are planning on putting them in. These people are getting cell phones, they're getting cars, they're getting housing, they're getting set up with job training. And they have ideas in many states now to use them as local police. And, that's not going to work for me. I'm not even going to let that happen to me. I don't know what say you guys, but that's not happening to me. I already know what I have to do in this world, and it's not allow an invasion over me. But hopefully some of us brothers and sisters will pull together and not let these things happen in our communities and to our families.
When I talk to my conservative friends right here, they always tell me that the problem is high taxes, but they're wrong. Of course, high taxes are extremely high here in the United States. I give you that. You're right in that. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is not the high taxes themselves, but the fact that they are not even really funding the government. But even those high taxes, higher than a lot of places in the world, but even those taxes are really funding the government. So who's financing the government? Government is financed by treasury bonds, paper. And who buys the treasury bonds? Mostly the Fed. And how does the Fed buy them? By printing money. But what backing does the Fed have for that money being printed? The treasury bonds themselves. So basically, you finance the government by printing money out of thin air. Someone could ask, well, so if the government can print the limited amounts of money out of thin air, why did they collect taxes? I mean, in theory, it would make sense, right? If they can print unlimited amounts of money, why would they need taxes for? The answer is simple, but it's very shocking. The real problem is that you pay high taxes only to uphold the illusion that you are funding the government, which you are not. It's shocking, but it's true. The government is funded by money printing, paper backed with paper, a bubble that will inevitably burst. The situation is even worse than it seems. Because if most Americans and the rest of the world were to become aware of this farce, confidence in your currency would be lost, the dollar would fall, and the Western civilization with it. If the next president of the United States doesn't make the necessary policies and structural changes,
All right, I had to pause that for a moment. It's doing its stupid thing. Sometimes this computer heats up. I think that's what it is. It's working too hard. But you can see, now that Saudi Arabia has backed out of that pact that we had all these five decades. The government uses these treasury bonds. Well, they're not going to be able to do that anymore. So I imagine there is going to be a huge distraction. Then there will be the financial collapse. And then there will be the CBDC and digital ID. And if if you want to get your monthly staple check from the government while they sort out their plan, you're going to have that digital ID. And I believe the same thing is happening when these people lose their homes to tornadoes, fires, and floods. Probably in order to receive government help, they have to get on board with these new government programs. And I think that was even the case down in Ohio last year. I think we saw that. And so this is how they do it, guys. This is how they get us. Let's see if the rest of this will play now. Stop listening to distractions so you do not understand what's happening. Are you telling me I don't understand what's happening? Is that what you're saying? I think you're funny if that's what you're saying. What do you propose, Lee? What are you doing other than coming on here and telling me to stop listening to distractions? This is news. People need to know that the financial collapse is coming, okay? And how to prepare for it. If you don't understand that, your soldiers are dying. You know, soldiers enlist to go into battle, right? Are they not doing their job? Now, I've had plenty of family in Vietnam, in the Gulf Wars. Some have been injured. None have been lost. If you're willing to fight for this government, you know, what am I supposed to say to that? These people joined the military. Over there fighting for the gravest of causes. I don't think you understand. These people made their choice. I'm here at home to protect my home. I'm not going abroad to fight any government's war. I tell you, some people, they're so wrapped up overseas that I don't think they can see what's happening here at home. There's a reason I don't talk a lot about Ukraine or Israel, because it's all wrong. All the news is wrong. I don't even want to get into it with you guys. That's some bad juju over there. No, you didn't say too much. Yes, I understand what's happening everywhere. I get it. I pay attention to all of this. There isn't one thing that escapes me. Unless it's breaking news and I'm in the middle of a shower or something. Otherwise, I get it. I know what's happening. That's why I report on Agenda 21, the Great Reset, Agenda 2030, which we're all facing. Don't you guys know they're taking our wood stoves away? They're taking our ability to collect rainwater away. They're taking farmers' ability to water their crops. Here in America, they're taking that ability away. Your food sources are all being destroyed. And you want to talk to me about someone in Ukraine and Israel? I mean, I got bigger things to worry about. If someone signs up to go overseas and fight a war that they have no right to be in, no right at all. No war. No war. And until people walk away from this system, it's just going to look like this all the time. I mean, this system is dirty, it's evil, and if you uphold it, you are upholding dirty, evil government. That's it. So you either step away from government and you learn to be a free person, not indoctrinated into political and war propaganda, not indoctrinated into CV propaganda, warning your family and friends about the thing, the deadly weapon. You know, I don't think anyone has the right to tell me I don't get it. I've spent a lot of years getting it.
Sooner or later, that bubble will burst. There's still time. You don't have to make the same mistakes we did in the 60s and the 70s. You can still jump before the water boils.
I think one of the worst things that happened in the COVID era is that our own government deliberately withheld information from us, from the American people, tried to propagandize the American people, used the arms and agencies of government to actively censor Americans who dared to question the propaganda.
All right, guys, watch as this guy talks and then watch the doctor he's talking to. And I'm probably going to stop this partway through because it gets pretty crazy, and I did upload it to Rumble. So you might want to finish watching this interview over on Rumble. But, you know, I still have other things in here to cover. But this guy grills this dude on manufacturing propaganda. And I'll tell you right now, even though they're going to be talking about Wuhan lab leak, you know, when you look at everything, all the videos that came out of Wuhan 4 years ago, all that was staged. If you look at the video, you will see police in English on their uniforms. So I went and researched that and found out that all these videos were from training sessions for the Olympics, for the upcoming Olympics. And that's what we saw as breaking out on the streets in Wuhan. So, you know, almost everything we saw out of there was fake propaganda anyway at the beginning. And very few people realize, and I do have a video somewhere where Pompeo and the T-Man come out and say, we're in a live exercise. And then Trump steps forward. Well, somebody should have told me. It's like, what, you're president and you don't know we're in a live exercise? He's so full of it, he can't even tell the truth for a second. But yeah, everything we've experienced has been a live exercise. And many people have noticed military helicopters flying over their towns, low-flying airplanes, reconnaissance, lasers. You know, we're in a live exercise. Most people have no clue that this is even happening, but it is happening.
And they're still lying to us. And I'll give you the proof of it. I wrote the bill that requires the administration to declassify the intelligence assessments and reports related to...
Oh, yes, Lee. Let me get this up here. Conscription. Yes, and one of my favorite YouTubers come out and he's like, did you see what the Democrats did? And I went and looked up that vote. Every Republican but 3 voted for it. There was Marjorie Taylor Greene out of Georgia. Is it Mike Kelly? I don't want to get that name wrong, out of Kentucky. And then someone in Montana. So only 3 Republicans, period, said nay to that vote. So, you know, this whole Republican Democrat thing is a farce. I mean, it's Republicans who come and take your guns. I mean, under Reagan, they started handgun laws for the Brady Law there, and under Trump, the red flag laws, he said, come take the guns. So anybody who says take the guns, in my book, is really pretty much a traitor. Those are big words, but this is our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, our rights, our inalienable rights. And somebody says, take the guns, and then trying to force the jab on all the Americans. That's not a very good person. It's not.
To the origins of COVID-19. Now listen, I just want to say, everybody sitting on this dais has read these. I've read them. I guarantee you my colleagues have read them. I know what the Energy Department concluded. I know what the FBI concluded. I knew what they concluded years ago because we could read them when people like Dr. Fauci were out there saying the lab leak hypothesis was totally discredited and nonsense. You could go read the intelligence and know our own government thought otherwise. And at this late hour, this government still refuses to release the intelligence. They are blatantly disregarding disregarding the law that this body passed, the Senate passed unanimously. Unanimously. The propaganda involved in the origins of COVID-19 is astounding to me. It recalls the worst of the wartime propaganda in years past when the government would deliberately lie to people. And here that's what they have been doing with COVID-19 and are still doing it. You know, you had this whole cabal led by Dr. Fauci and others who, as soon as the lab leak hypothesis that we now know is a lot more than a hypothesis, as soon as it's mentioned, what did Fauci do? We know because this has all been litigated in a federal district court. In fact, in multiple federal courts. I've got the finding of fact from the court right here. They lay it all out. Fauci goes to the WHO, asks the WHO to intervene to discredit the lab leak. He then speaks against it multiple times from the podium at the White House. He then does countless media interviews. I mean, my gosh, what show has he not been on? He's still on TV, spewing this misinformation, as he would call it. But he did these multiple interviews where he says, no way, no how, lab leak not possible at all. And then he coordinates, and the whole federal government coordinates with the biggest tech companies in the world to suppress, and media companies to suppress any American who would ask questions about it. It's absolutely disgraceful. Dr. Gary, you were part of this propaganda effort. I mean, you were right at the center of it.
I love this part.
It's astounding. You wrote this piece, this
Of course, they're all actors.
Nature magazine piece, or whatever it was, that we've heard testimony here today, Nature Medicine, March 17th, 2020. We've heard testimony here today from other scientists on the panel that it's basically an opinion piece. You said at the time that definitively SARS-CoV-2 is not a laboratory construct, is not a laboratory construct. Of course, our own government, key agencies have concluded otherwise. And on the basis of this, Dr. Fauci and others cited this piece and went out to use it to mobilize our own government to censor people who ask questions about it. People lost their jobs because of this. They lost their jobs, they lost their standing, they were kicked off Facebook, they were kicked off Twitter. Do you regret being part of this effort, this propaganda effort?
Sir, I was simply just writing a paper about our scientific
guy, what a
opinions
joke.
about where this virus came
Oh, no, you weren't. You said in an email that we now have that you tried to withhold, but that we have February 2nd, 2020, you wrote, I really can't think of a plausible natural scenario where you can get from the bat virus or one very similar to it to this. I'm quoting you. I just can't figure out how this gets accomplished in nature. It's stunning. Of course, in the lab, it would be easy.
Well, of course. And I actually figured it out. That's the whole point of
You
that.
figured it out? You wrote this while you were writing your propaganda piece, while you were writing
I
your
wrote
paper.
that somewhere around February 2nd. We
Yeah,
were writing
it was
a paper
exactly
for the-
February
for the
2nd,
next-
and you
next month or
testified
so.
that you were writing your proximal origin paper in early February. So you're saying that,
February
what
to
did it
March.
come to you overnight?
There was new data that
Like
came in.
a revelation from God?
No, it's
Overnight
simply the
you
scientific
concluded,
method.
I got it, I figured it out, and now I can definitively rule out. It's amazing. Is that what happened?
It's just the scientific method.
Oh, it's
sir.
just
That's
science.
all.
Oh, it's the scientific method that happened at lightning speed and then was used to propagandize and lie to and shut down. As a scientist who's supposedly supposed to follow facts, do you regret the fact that your work was used to censor your fellow scientists? It was used to censor ordinary Americans who ask questions about the virus? Do you regret
You know,
that?
when you write a paper, I mean, you get it in the journal. We can't control what happens after.
Oh, I see. So you're not responsible at all. It's amazing. Nobody who is involved in any of this is responsible. Never.
Yeah.
They're not responsible.
Yeah, but
People have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
People have lost probably their health care associated with their jobs. People have been run out of public, they're not available in polite society. You can't show your face because, my gosh, you question.
Yeah.
But you don't have anything to do with it. Why have so many of your papers, your other papers, been retracted or subjected to formal expressions of concern?
Yeah. Well,
Why is that?
All right, I got to pause that for a moment. Yeah, Mystery Woman, I've never had to ban anyone. Well, I've only done, half a dozen streams, right? I'm not sure what the dude was saying, but it was really getting a little crazy. And while I love comments, I love questions, I love responding, whether I agree or not, it doesn't really matter. This is what I'm here for, right? You're not here to agree with me. I don't know that we're always going to agree, right? This is the way conversations work. But yeah, I think he got just a little out of hand, and God, I really don't like banning anyone. Well, that's the way it goes. Let me see what's happening up here. Juju 007. Yes, they are. Joel Palmer is an actor. Oh, yeah. Well, I've even heard it said there's a few of them out there. What do I know about this? I've seen the different photos. Are they real? I don't know. I see so many crazy things. I even just saw the guy with the island, right, compared to Alexander Hamilton. And they both had this thing right in their head. And, I didn't use the photo from Facebook that I saw. I went on and did an actual search for these images and compare them. And I was a little stunned. I thought, wow, really? Okay. I wonder what the hell that is. Maybe just, who knows? It's crazy out there. That is for sure. I even heard they perfected cloning in 1938. I heard that a long time ago. And I do kind of believe that, especially after all the Frankenstein stories. And if you get back into Sumerian texts, they made a little friend. Was it for Marduk? I think. Was it Gilgamesh, the mighty hunter? And I think Orion was named after him. Or no, it was Enkidu. I think it was Enkidu. If you guys know this stuff, let me know. But yeah, it said, however long ago the Sumerian civilization actually existed compared to what the current time frame of all these civilizations. I think some of it's true, and I think some of it is so not true. It was not that long ago that some of these civilizations actually existed, especially like after Rome. And a lot of people are trying to debunk Tartaria, but I see a lot of real evidence there. And that's something for different videos, something that I would produce and then put out, and then talk about in a live stream. A little huffy and insinuous, aren't we? Yeah. Something happened there. I don't know what it was. Yeah, it was definitely creepy. So the rest of this video, it really does have some sensitive information in it, and it might get me in trouble with YouTube. So if you want to see the rest of this part of the video, I would definitely head over to Rumble if you can. It's not going to go up on YouTube. It's not going to go up on Facebook. Like I said, Facebook already took me straight down after a Depop post. And, instead of reaching millions, now I'm reaching dozens. That's so ridiculous. They're going to find a way not to let me be seen. That's just the way it is. In Rumble, I'm giving you a thumbs up right now because my views are going up and up and up over there. So I am going to go ahead and plug Rumble for now. Who else is in the house? We got a few folks in here. Anyone got anything great to say on this Friday? You guys got good big weekend plans? Are you battling floods and fires? What's happening with you guys? All right, well, I'll save that for a minute. Just take a look in here, see who else is lighting up the comment section. Well, it doesn't look too busy right now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and play us out, and I'll let the comments run up on the screen. I hope you guys have a great weekend, the first weekend of summer. Just remember, there's a lot going on around us. Try and stay safe. Stay aware, be prepared, and like I always say, keep looking up, guys. Thank you for joining me.
All right.
Buy a coffee if you can.
Well, I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no.
Thanks for joining, Lisa.
This ain't easy, darling, 'cause the devil's on my trail. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh,
Peace.